why you decided to come back?
I had the opportunity to continue, but that urge of coming back and doing something here was always there. I mean, working amongst your own people, having that kind of freedom is always a good thing. Pharma industry, what is absolutely essential, because we are dealing not of selling products, not a commercial thing, but it's about patients. So the patients need medicines. They rely on the companies, some of the doctors, the hospitals, when they prescribe medicines. COVID was a very big example of learning. It's good to know that we are trying to backward integrate everything that we can make, but
Hello, everyone. So, today's podcast, we have a very special guest. He had spent almost 4 decades in a pharmaceutical science. He was a part of various innovations and he has set up a lot of standards for a pharma industry. He has served his last role as a EVP for Lupin, a company like Lupin. And today he is also serving various big organizations, associations, and helping Indian pharmaceutical sector to be ready for a future. So let's welcome Dr. Rajiv Desai. Sir, welcome to the show.
thank you so much.
So first of all, thanks a lot for taking a time out. I was actually looking forward to have your podcast from long time, and it's great we are meeting here today. So today's podcast we will be focusing on, of course, your journey. We would like to understand how you started your career, how you shaped your career, and a multinational like Lupin. How was it when you were handling a role of executive vice president for a corporate quality? So it's very interesting to know all that journey. So our audience majorly would be from pharma sectors, and they are aspiring pharma leaders. They are looking forward to be a future leader. So they always want to see how my current leaders are and how their life is. So can we quickly start with maybe a quick introduction of yours, because I know my introduction was very short. So that will help, and then we can go back to your childhood days and we will try to understand how you chose pharma as your career.
Thank you so much for this podcast and this invitation. Uh, my background is I'm a PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry from ICT, which was called UDCT
UDCT.
first,
Yeah.
and this was way back in 1988. And as usual, UDCT known for its chemical technology and chemical industry. You always think of going into the pharma industry
Right.
and the chemical industry, of course. Uh, so after completing my PhD, I joined the pharma industry and working in a couple of small companies in the past. Then I joined Ciba Geigy. In those days, Mumbai was cluttered with all the big multinational companies like Pfizer's and Ciba Geigy, Hext.
So if I'm not wrong, Ciba Geigy is Novartis right now?
Now it's Novartis. Now, since in those days it became Novartis as a merger of Ciba and Sandoz.
Oh, okay.
And this was way back in 92.
92, yeah.
And so having completed my PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry, I joined the R&D. And in those days, Ciba Geigy was doing basic research. And we had a beautiful research center in Mumbai, Goregaon. And part of the research was done, which was from Switzerland and in India. And we were working on some of the very, innovation products in those days also. I will never forget the times when I was working on some products which are now become OTC. And in those days, they were prescription products. You must be aware of diclofenac sodium.
Yes.
Or Volini, which is now common. So that's the product which was actually was developed in those days in Mumbai, Goregaon. And then you have a product called as Otrivin, which is now so common. But that was a prescription product for the nasal decongestion. So I was lucky to have worked on those kind of products. And with that kind of R&D background, couple of years in Mumbai, I was transferred to Switzerland as part of my assignment, where I was asked to continue my work in Switzerland. So that was a good experience for me, working in a multinational, working with that kind of a culture, knowing how the farm industry works with close quarters and some of the best of technologies in those days. And it was a 2 years tenure, and learned a lot from the Swiss people.
So these
And
were your early days of your career. You were in Switzerland.
yes, yes. So, and I was asked to go with my family, with my wife. So it was like, having an extended uh, life over there. But, what I can say that when I went there, it was a bit nervous time for me. First time going abroad. But I could say that when they know that somebody is coming from India, they know that there's a technical advancement and also caliber of the Indian people, and so that's the best part of
Does Europeans
yeah,
think in
that's
that way?
yeah. So when they know that you come from India, they have a high regards for you, and I really learned from them, and it was always a welcome tenure for me. And when I returned back, I continued here. But after that, I got an opportunity to work in Pyramids in Hyderabad. So I said, let me take this opportunity where I was asked to be in a greenfield project. So
Oh,
it was my conscious decision to go into that kind of area and start. And that's the first time that I encountered the generics industry. Having worked with the innovator companies and then moving into generics was something new for me. And there also I was heading the process development and quality management. And that's the time when I moved from R&D to quality. Of course, quality you cannot just be compartmentalized in quality. You need to know what is manufacturing, what's R&D, what's the process that needs to be followed. And
sorry to stop you here. So you were in Switzerland 2 years. You were having good life there. Why you decided to come back?
I had an opportunity to continue, but that urge of coming back and doing something here was always there. I mean, working amongst your own people, having that kind of freedom is always a good thing. But that experience was quite unique for me. I got a chance to move around within Europe and also get to learn a lot of things. But when I look back, I said it was a good decision of not continuing over there, because I could meet, me and my wife, we could meet a lot of Indians who were settled over there. And they were there because in their early days, they went after the education, continued over there, worked. But when I used to talk to them, they said, oh, it's better to go back to our country. But then by the time the families, the kids were so used to that kind of environment and lifestyle, they never could come back. So that urge of returning was never possible for them.
Because
So
current generation also, when I talk to various uh, kids, they always like, or maybe of my age as well, they always talks about ki, I want to go back to Swiss. I want to go to Swiss. No tax country, great life, everything.
yeah, but again, in that country, it's so lonely, It's so lonely. I mean, you go to any place, it's so quiet. There's no halla gulla, there's no traffic jam, no honking, so clean. And
You are true Mumbaikar, yeah.
so that kind of thing, of course, you like a little, but when you think about this kind of life, Mumbai, and again, this is quite what we have been experiencing. So a couple of years in that environment is a good experience, and that's what I would say, that whenever you get a chance, you should go and see how those countries operate, how the countries really work,
Correct.
and that was good experience for me. But coming back to India was always a comfort that I enjoyed. The parents were very happy that I'm back, and the anxiety of the parents and the family members of being away was something quite unique. I cannot forget the time when I was given an apartment over there in Switzerland, and there was a phone. I mean, in India in those days, getting a landline was a 10-year affair.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
And and I go and stay in a house where there's a phone over there. And I said, let me see if it works. And I pick up the receiver. Okay, and there's a dial tone. I said, let me try. So it's like 91009122 and my telephone number. I dialed and it rang. I said, it rings. And then my father picks up, hello. Oh my God, I said it rings. So that's something that, we were used to, calling on trunk calls in those days.
Yes.
And here I'm getting a chance to talk within a dial. And but that's the kind of the the system that we're operating in those countries and in Europe also. But now when I look back and see what we have done, we are evolved a lot. I mean, India
Absolutely.
has really come a long way, and there's huge potential now.
Yeah.
And that's where I would say my initial days in the pharma industry, the foundation was laid. And then moving into the generics industry from pyramids to Dr. Reddy's.
But that was also a big decision, right? R&D to an innovator company to generic company.
Yes, it was. I mean, I never knew what's a generic. I mean, when we were working in Siva Gaigi at that time, it was always an innovation company where we were doing something for the company, not copying from somebody else.
Correct.
And the kind of work that we did was so very intense that we had to make sure that the technology worked in the scale-up also. But there was a slight difference in the generics where you were looking at some products which are already commercialized and you were trying to develop products, develop processes, technologies which could work with a cost-effective process. So this transition from R&D to quality was conscious because I was always looking at this transition. But I thought that having moved from R&D to quality, I never stopped from looking at the R&D processes. And even now also, after so many years in the pharma industry, R&D continues to be my backbone and of my strength. And that really helped me in my current role as well.
Correct.
In the quality. And I would say that if you ask me for the youngsters or the young students or aspiring members who want to go into pharma, working in the plant, working in the R&D, dirtying your hands, and really knowing what the process goes, and then moving to quality really gives you a much holistic way of looking at the work rather than straight away jumping into. And I always recommend, I would not say that I force them, but I'd say that it's a recommendation that you should work in these departments which are so very key for the industry.
Correct.
And then you can really support the requirements of quality control and quality assurance and the regulatory affairs, which is the evolving department now and becoming so very important.
Absolutely.
So that's where it's very important for us, for the people to really work in these departments and understand the finer details of it.
Correct. Sir, in your career, you also did MBA. So PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry and an MBA. What motivates you to go for a management part as well, like for doing MBA and learning management?
See, all throughout my career or my education background in chemistry and pharmaceutical, it was only science. And I knew that at one point of time that this is going to be my area which will remain with me. But over a period of time, when I looked at some of the people whom we used to talk to, like how their career grew, and we knew that at one point of time they were actually heading the departments or managing teams or supporting the companies. So more of management of the activities is important. So I thought that why not look at this option also?
Absolutely.
And it actually I was motivated by one of my very close or very senior person who really helped me to take this decision. And in those days, I mean, management, we had two options. Either you do a 2 years program full time or a 3 years part time.
3 years executive.
Yeah. but it was like almost like a full-time and a grueling, program, Bombay University. And we had 3 colleges, NMIMS, Bajaj, and Sidnam.
Yeah, right.
And we had a written exam and group discussion and all those things.
Correct.
And we had to choose the institute. Of course, the exam would be common, Bombay University.
Right.
And I was working at Goregaon Sibagagi. NMIMS was just evolving as a management institute in Vileparle.
Vileparle.
So that was convenient. Evening 7 to 9. You can imagine working in the company full day, and then going from there to the institute and spending 3 years, 6 semesters. But it was quite a learning experience. 60 students, all coming from different background, banking, sales, marketing,
Correct.
Commerce, everything.
Correct.
And very few from science, engineering as well.
Correct.
But that 2 hours that we spent was a fantastic learning experience for me on how things work beyond the science also that we are so used to. And I would say that really helped me in my future growth and career that I went through. Because later on, science will always remain with me. That's something that is the domain expertise. And then this management definitely helped me to make sure that you take decisions based on the people, the business decisions that you take is so very important at one point of time.
I agree.
That's where...
and I think in everyone's career, after certain time, you always have to manage teams and humans.
Right.
And that knowledge or normal education doesn't teach us.
Correct.
So frankly,
and I was really surprised that there were so many topics that we could learn in those 3 years that not a single word was taught in my entire science career. Like we did a graduation, post-graduation and PhD. Not a single thing was taught in those times. Of course, now I see that most of the educational courses have some element of management.
Correct.
Okay, which really makes the students a little bit holistic in terms of what exactly is the requirement. Okay, be it software, be it the government policies. I mean, I really like those topics being taught apart from the core topics that you are learning.
Correct. I think basic skills like creating a presentation and presenting on the stage, or putting the points in a way that a person will understand it or detail.
Right.
So that fundamental basics are also sometimes missing from our normal and common study.
Correct. And we never had a chance to really understand these finer details.
Correct.
And when we really hear, and the best part is, we had faculty who were all industry oriented.
Correct.
Okay, and they were also industry oriented, who came from the industry, taught us all the finer details, and it was like treat to hear them with their kind of experience.
Absolutely.
Okay, whether it's HR, it's finance, or project management, everything was amazing.
That's the beauty of these colleges. I think JB or
Yes.
NMIMS or SIDNAM. I think a lot of industry practitioners comes and take that lecture. I also been part of that similar program, so from Wellington. So I still remember various industrial experts used to come. They used to share that knowledge. I still remember the first statement my professor taught me. What is sales? Everyone is salesperson. So he asked the question, who all are salespeople? So all people are from different backgrounds. Only couple of people raised the hand, and then he said, why everyone is salesperson? So when you are a baby, you start crying, you start selling yourself. Such a basic thought, but put it in a very effective way.
Correct.
That's very interesting.
And I can tell you that even now, just going forwarding my current assignments now after my retirement. Of course, I do my consultancy because of my so-called expertise that I have.
Correct.
But apart from that, I do a lot of teaching also. I do the same thing now in the college. I teach at NMIMS now.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. And that's the best part. Even after so many years, NMIMS still continues with that format of calling experts and also industry people who are given time and space to actually be part of the faculty.
Yes.
So they call it a visiting faculty.
Correct.
In fact, last year I took the entire semester of MPharm at NMIMS, and they said, okay, this is a syllabus that you need to teach because of the Pharmacy Council of India's requirement. But beyond that, you can teach whatever you feel like what is the requirement. I said,
That's
okay, fine.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
So I took almost like 60, 70 lectures for that semester, entire semester. And I said, the first thing I told the students that, see, I'm not a professor or a faculty you were, coming, and I said, I'll be casually discussing and talking very freely about things. And you can keep on engaging me and asking questions and whatever there. So we used to do a lot of these kind of conversations.
Correct.
But I actually made them go through some of the things that are so relevant in the pharma industry.
Correct.
Especially data integrity, the compliance part, which
That's
is so
true.
very common and which again is not taught in the colleges,
Correct.
in the academics. So after the completion of this MPharm students, there were about 25 students, they went back or joined the industry. After a couple of days time, they started calling me saying, sir, I joined this so-and-so company. What you taught on those data integrity and compliances, all this being reviewed. Right? I said, that's what is all about.
Absolutely.
I said, all that basics is there.
Yes.
I don't deny the basics is required, but you should be aware of it. And
Correct.
that's, I mean, a lot of institutes and universities have started these programs now.
And I think this is a very beautiful program because like you have already gathered so much of wisdom from the industry, and those are the students who require those.
Yes.
So I think this is a perfect platform when the visiting faculties with the industry experience coming and they have time, at least now certain time, thoda time bhi hai, they can spend with the students and they can share that wisdom. It's a really beautiful concept. Let's go back to the quality. Otherwise, we will go in this talk a lot. So you headed quality, like from R&D you transit to quality, and I think you were a part of Alembic, Piramal, Mylan, then Dr. Reddy's, and then later on Lupin. So all everywhere quality. Why quality is so important, and what is current status of Indian pharmaceutical in terms of quality?
Pharma industry quality is absolutely essential because we are dealing not of selling products, not a commercial thing, but it's about patients.
Yeah.
So the patients need medicines. I mean, they have so much of, they rely on the companies, some of the doctors, the hospitals when they prescribe medicines. And not everybody knows what's inside the medicines, whether it's a tablet, capsules, syrups, injections, ointments. And you can imagine the age profile is right from a one-day baby to a 70 years old person. And somebody within the family is actually, making a decision on those behalf. Okay, so quality is important. You can't compromise on that. Obviously, it's a responsibility of every person working in the pharma industry to ensure that whatever they do should be targeted to the benefit of the patients.
Of course.
So that's the first thing that we always tell the people that, or the people or the members working in the pharma industry, that look at that aspect. I mean, if there was a possibility of these medicines that you make to be given to your near ones or your family members, would you hesitate? If the answer is yes, then you're not at the right place or you're not doing the justice to your work. So if somebody says, no, I'm confident about the work that I've done, about the medicines that I've manufactured, and happy to be given these medicines to my child, to my parents, to my family members. That's what is quality all about. And as you know, India is very much into generics. We are making affordable medicines, trying to make sure that the cost is reduced to a large extent compared to what the innovators would charge. And looking at where the innovators' patents are expiring and we try to make the generic medicines, obviously the cost is significantly low.
Correct.
Now, if that's the case, reducing the cost does not say that reduce a compromise in the quality. Quality has to be absolutely essential and you can't compromise on that. So that is something that we should be mindful in the industry, that quality has to be given utmost importance. And it's not just the end product. What we say is the entire value chain of the manufacturing should be around quality, whether it's your raw materials, your equipment, your way of working. Every step of the process should be of highest quality. And then you get the product. I mean, testing the finished product is just a formality. But if you've done your right from your raw materials to the product quality has to be
Mm.
or will be good.
Mm.
There's no compromise on that. So that's something that we should be mindful about.
Mm. So, what is the current status quo of Indian pharmaceutical in terms of quality?
In terms of, I would say, the pharma industry per se, because even though we are in the generics and we actually, sell or promote our products to Europe and US market, it's a good business.
Mm.
Okay, good profitability. When you look at the profitability, a lot of people who are business oriented
Mm.
would jump in.
Mm.
Okay, and not everybody has that kind of a ethical way of working.
Mm.
Okay, so there are bad players
Mm.
who would try to look at this as an opportunity for making business,
Mm.
and in the process actually tarnish the name of the country.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, but by and large, if you see uh, the kind of percentage of generics that has been promoted in USA or Europe or
Mm.
any other country outside, we have been very mindful about the quality.
Mm.
The companies who are in this business make sure that the quality is not compromised.
Mm.
And obviously, if the quality gets compromised, they're only going to lose in terms of their market share and their business.
Of
So
course.
obviously, being quality cautious, having consistency in the manufacturing process
Mm.
is actually beneficial.
Mm.
So having a high standard of compliance is actually bringing them more business.
Mm.
But there would be some players who would say, let us make shortcuts and some compromise on the quality standards, and that's where they really go down, and they actually give a very bad name to the industry and to the country also.
Mm.
There's a lot of support from the government of India now, the ministry and the Department of Pharmaceuticals, the Ministry of um, Exports. We're trying to make sure that these things are taken care of,
Mm.
and we are able to make sure that we have a standard manufacturing process, controls on the exports, controls on the way the raw materials are being tested, the finished products are tested.
Mm.
And of course, we need to do a lot of work in the domestic market also. And there's a very uh, structured approach now coming up in terms of the quality standards for the medicine which are sold in the country as well.
Okay.
And of course, I would say that the awareness of the Indian public is also increasing,
Mm.
and they would also like to have the best of quality medicines being sold in the country.
Correct. So, sir, wherever we talked about quality, people talk about quality culture because three P's. People is the most important P in that. Okay, people is more important in any quality culture. So let's can you elaborate that more?
People are required for any kind of activities. Okay, even though you have technologies, you have best of equipment,
Hmm.
finally they're operated by the people. And the most important is the promoters and the top management has a very important and key role in ensuring that they percolate down the expectations of the quality to the junior most person. And whatever area of work that has been assigned to each person, if they work in that manner, which is looking at a quality consciousness, and that's what we call it quality culture. If each one of the person working in the company is given that kind of a responsibility, given that kind of awareness, I think collectively the quality will be maintained. I mean, it's not one time; it has to sustain, and that is where the top management plays a big role in giving that kind of a environment, giving that kind of a culture or a support system to the people working, saying that you don't compromise on any activities that you're doing. Ensure that if you find something wrong, you have full right, full authority to stop it, rather than just trying to compromise those quality and push it forward.
So can you share, like, you been heading lot of quality functions in various companies? Can you share your hardest moment in your life where you have seen something maybe not favorable situation or something not right, and you need to take, and it was a hard decision for you?
I would say that the places that I worked, coincidentally or the practices and the working culture was quite ethical. I just have to make sure that being at a level where you have the contacts with your people, the junior most people, not necessarily that the management or the top management will have visibility and also contacts with each and every member, but we need to provide that kind of uh, I would say a leadership role to each and every member working, and make sure that they do not compromise on any shortcuts. And I would say that wherever I worked, um, thankfully there was no pressure on me
Okay.
to release or to push a batch for some reason, for
Okay.
commercial reason.
Okay.
And that's the best part of it. And now we know that in the industry, if you say that which are the best companies, I was lucky to be working in those
Working
companies.
with those companies.
Okay. And now it's become a benchmark.
Yeah.
If any small or big company, whatever size, if they want to really grow, they would say, okay, we have to emulate that company.
Correct.
Because they know that they haven't compromised on any quality standards. And when this is being looked at from the outside world, they know that these are the companies which will definitely make sure that they would never be compromising on any inferior products being pushed in the market. We have to be mindful. And the best part is that when it comes to taking decisions to stop a product consignment from being pushed the market, and you have no pressure to really take that decision, that's the best part of it. And I was lucky, I would say, to have been worked with these companies and this top management who gave full freedom. They never questioned. But what the clear mandate was, make sure that your production, your manufacturing is first time right. That's very important, because you can't keep on reprocessing and salvaging the product, salvaging the batches just for the sake of it. Because if your processes are right, okay, you'll obviously get a right product.
Correct. But did you get any such experience where you need to stop the batch?
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean, when we know that there's a requirement that this product does not meet the requirement, you stop it. And you just have to inform the top manager saying that I'm stopping it. Okay, fine. I mean, as long as you are clear about your decision, that's fine. But make sure that you try to identify what made that product go bad. And that's the investigation part of it. That's the corrections that we need to do on our processes. And if you can avoid it happening again, that's something that is a responsibility of the heads who take these decisions.
Okay.
That's very important. Like,
So-
you can't keep on saying that I'll stop the batch, but did you make an effort to find out what went wrong?
But finally, you need to answer it, right?
Yes, you have to make sure that it is answerable, and you are able to take the decision and make sure that people are aware and make sure that they are told what can go wrong. That's very important for us.
Correct. Do you remember any mistakes you did in this?
Mistakes in the sense that you can't be there everywhere. I mean, at a leadership role, when you have so many sites under you, you can't be there everywhere. You have to delegate your work to your people, give them that kind of a confidence. But sometimes they make mistakes, and those mistakes can definitely bring in some kind of a customer complaint, patient complaints. And you have to be very clear about how you can mitigate your risk. And I would not say my mistake of making a bad decision, but somebody who is working under you, if you're given a delegation or the work is being delegated, whether they have taken the right decision, and making sure that they take decisions which are compliant. And I can say that when I talk to some of my people, some of the juniors who have worked with me, and now they head, I mean, you name it, and all my juniors are heading the quality management in some company or the other. But when I discussed with them, they said, you gave us a free hand. You gave us that responsibility, and that responsibility is definitely coming back to us and saying that yes, we should be doing the right things. And I would say that that's something that is very important. That you don't keep a micro level management, but you
Mm.
give a holistic support to them, and that really works in your favor.
That's wonderful. So well, I can continue for long actually, but now coming to the end, I certainly wanted to understand if one thing you wanted to correct in your whole career, what would be that one thing? After now looking back, connecting the dots of 38 years, you wanted to correct something.
What do I correct? Of course, correct in the sense that I would say spending more time with the family. That's something that I miss out. But definitely, they knew that the kind of work that was done. But I would say my family has been quite supportive. All the assignments that I took up, of course, one thing is that all the assignments that I took up, it was always a pull factor, not a push factor.
Mm.
Okay, so and it was the excitement of taking newer responsibilities, newer roles, higher responsibilities, bigger challenges
Mm.
is what I always liked. And you cannot take this decision unless your family supports you.
Correct.
Okay, whether it's moving from one city to other or taking up different roles, and they know that it's not. You may not be aware. You may not be available for them
Mm.
at some of the important times.
Mm.
My wife always says that many of my daughters, school engagements, I was not there, and they still crib. I said, yeah, that is true. But those are things that
You
I
are
would.
busy in saving somebody's life.
That's true. But I truly say that these are things that, work-life balance is something that even now I see some of my juniors who are taking the responsibility. They're really pressurized with the work that they have, and they really are not able to give enough time to the families. But try to make sure that you have a better work-life balance within your career, and you'll enjoy that. That's
Mm.
where is something that I'd like to correct.
That's interesting. So last question, uh, with current changing dynamics, geopolitics, uh, last 2 decades we were becoming a global village, and suddenly in last couple of years the countries have started moving back to focus in their country first kind of approach. Indian pharmaceutical is facing tremendous pressure. So if you see last few years, last few months also, we will have a lot of warning letters coming from USFDA. The number of warning letters have increased. I think quality teams are in lot pressure. In all this environment, like US is prioritizing the manufacturing in US, or many other countries like Gulf also have started building their own manufacturing very strongly. African countries are starting in that way. Everyone is thinking in that way. You are also part of IPA, who is a very important voice for pharmaceutical industry in India. How Indian pharmaceutical are going to cope up with this situation? And quality is going to play very important in this, because if warning letters are going to increase, the quality people are going to come in front as warriors. So, what do you think about this?
Let me correct one thing. There's not much increase in the number of warning letters. They're
Okay.
almost similar.
Okay.
Only thing is the visibility,
Hmm.
the social media is hyping them.
Yes.
Of course, it
For
should be
sure.
there. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't expect to have warning letters.
Hmm.
Warning letters is the outcome of some non-compliances that the companies would be doing,
Hmm.
and rightfully so. Um, if any regulatory agencies, if they come here to inspect the facilities,
Correct.
they have a big responsibility,
Of course.
because any product, any medicine which are sold in those countries,
Right.
they don't want their patients to suffer.
Right.
So obviously, they would definitely put in a lot of pressure on the facilities and the people and the way the documentations are done, the manufacturing is done.
Absolutely.
So you can't compromise on that. But at the same time, I would say that the kind of facilities, the kind of systems, that the kind of awareness that is there in India
Hmm.
is really high. And I would say that cannot be matched with any country which is making medicines.
Okay.
Coming back to your question about self-sustaining. I would say that you mentioned about the geopolitical situation in the current times. Obviously, we have been relying on so many things for the other countries to support, whether it's
Correct.
raw material,
APIs and everything.
whether your input ingredients also.
Of course.
So the best thing is do everything yourself. What we are buying from outside now, we used to make it ourselves in the past, but with the kind of volumes that the other countries have brought in, the costs have really come
Cost
down.
has come down, yeah.
So now there's a lot of encouragement and also engagement by the government of India to go in a backward integration.
Correct.
Okay. And if you really have that kind of backward integration, we'll be able to sustain our requirements also. But there is a need to make sure that we try to balance what can be made internally, what can be outsourced. And these kind of hand-holding amongst the countries about the experts will continue. I mean, why are we selling generic products to the other countries? Because we are cost effective.
Of course.
We have been able to make the same product at a much, much better pricing.
I agree.
So which means that we have the technology, we have the
Yes.
expertise. Okay, the same thing is for the raw metals also.
Hmm.
It's good to know that we are trying to backward integrate everything that we can make. But that's just to make sure that we are not suffering from those kind of issues about not getting the raw metals for our manufacturing. And we could see that COVID was a very big example of learning.
Agreed.
Okay, where if there is a logistics issue or supply chain issue, how we actually suffer. And that's where we started looking at whether we can make the same things internally also.
Correct.
So those things will continue. You mentioned about the other countries also trying to be self-sufficient. Yes, there is there's an expectation that why should you rely on outside world? So many of the countries which have, I know that some of the countries have been looking at us, and there have been a lot of discussions with some of the countries which have absolutely no manufacturing of pharma.
Agreed.
Everything is brought from outside. And they're asking us, can you support us to create facilities?
Build the facilities. Yeah.
Build facilities. I said, we can do that. But they know that India can support this kind of thing. Indian industry can support. And it could be a very good initiative that if we support them, then it will be a collaboration between India and those countries also.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to really handhold them in those requirements. So if we have that kind of arrangements, of course, the geopolitical situations cannot be under control or under control. But this is going to be a very important discussion, like how can you really sustain yourself in terms of manufacturing, in terms of getting the right quality, right pricing of the ingredients that are used for the manufacturing. So whatever can be done should be done. Whatever cannot be done, you should have a very good, strong arrangements with those countries to make sure that you get the right material. Otherwise, the costing is not going to be sustaining.
Correct. So in a way, you are saying that Indian pharmaceutical industry still have a lot to achieve. It still have a peak is still yet to come.
We will be, generics wise, we are good. We are trying to build in capacities in terms of, trying to get the affordable medicines, best quality. But most important is when can we have a medicine which will be called made in India.
In being an innovator.
Yeah, innovator. So there are efforts coming up from the government.
Yes, agreed.
And hopefully those kind of ecosystem will definitely bring in those environments, and we'll soon see some products which are invented in India and are known as made in India.
No, I'm sure about it. I'm in touch with many such startups who are working on that, and there are interesting things are happening around everywhere. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, everywhere there are interesting stories happening. Biopharma is getting really great. So yeah, I think we can certainly have a good optimism about how the pharma and biopharma industry will grow in India. So sir, your one message to our all listeners, your 38 years of wisdom, अगर हम लोग एक लाइन में उसको बोलना चाहते हैं, what would be that one message?
For the pharma industry, people working, whoever is working, I'm not talking only about the quality people in the quality department, every department, be it the supply chain, manufacturing, R&D, quality, warehouse, everything, everybody. Look at whatever areas you're doing. Your patient is the, I would not say customer, is the end, the value chain ends over there. And if you can really work to make sure that there's a proper support given to those patients, you'll be doing a great job. And that is the best satisfaction that you'll get. And when I look back, I said, it's really satisfying to know that we are in an industry which has really given a lot of satisfaction to many people. And there's a lot of pressure in this industry. But if you really work in the structured manner, you'll be able to do wonders in this.
That's very beautiful, sir. Look, just on that, day before yesterday, I saw one reel. A lady, European lady, shared that reel. She saw the cough syrup cost in India, and she was so happy. Well, of course, there must be some exaggeration. So she was so shocked and happy. She said, "No, I now will live in only in India only." Well, there must be some exaggeration in it, but that was interesting reel I saw. So what you said is really important. So thanks a lot, sir, for sharing your all
Thank you
wisdoms
so
and your
much.
experience. That was really beautiful, and I'm sure from this listening to this conversation, young professionals will understand what kind of responsibility they are holding. Right, that is very important. So thanks a lot once again.